Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, I want to get your reaction to what has been an extraordinarily sad week for those in President Trump's orbit, for the president himself and the vice president, who was very close with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Cheryl, I think we're all just mourning this horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you just can't overstate how important he was to Gen Zs and millennials, young conservatives, that he was the Pied Piper. Back in my office, it's more than just flags at half-mast. This has probably impacted them more than anything since I've been a senator. Everyone across the country, youngsters reaching out to us and saying, what is going on here?
Well, that's the reach that Charlie Kirk had, is that he was on these college campuses, and we saw him motivate those young conservatives like I've never seen in my lifetime. I don't know about you. I mean, he was out there inspiring youth to get involved in politics. At the same time, I have to talk to you about the videos, and social media is part in all of this, because Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna called on Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, TikTok to scrub these graphic videos of his assassination from social media. And she says TikTok is going to take down the videos after her request. Fox Business reached out to TikTok. We have not heard back. Meta, meanwhile, referred us to a video policy, which is this: per our violent and graphic content policies, we're applying a Marcus-sensitive warning label to footage of the shooting, and we're age-gating it to 18 plus, as with similar events. We do not allow content that glorifies, represents, or supports the incident or the perpetrator, and it will be removed. Senator, you have the power on Capitol Hill, you and your colleagues, to put pressure on these social media companies to stop this from happening. Algorithms, AI, technology, programmers, we know on the business side this is possible. You've got the power to do that, sir.
Yeah, Cheryl. This is one of the reasons we have this epidemic of mental illness among our children, is because of what they're seeing. But my advice, first of all, if you haven't watched this video, don't. I purposely have not watched it. Let's not glorify and give this killer any type of credit for that as well. But these companies should have some self-respect too. They know how to turn this off as well. I don't believe that their filters are going to work when Meta says that as well. And you're right. We do have some legislation that would put some guardrails around what can be done, especially with young children, or young adults, I should say.
Well, would you be willing to call these executives to testify?
Absolutely. We have, and we will, and we should.
Yeah. There's a lot happening at stake right now. There's only 6 legislative days to go until the government shuts down. House and Senate Democrats say they're not going to back any spending bill that does not lower health care costs. And health care seems to be the big fight right now. Republicans are pushing ahead with their own funding plan. Senate Majority Leader John Thune is betting there's enough moderate Democrats to break ranks. I want to get your thoughts on that and where we are, because this all seems to come down to the Affordable Care Act and whether or not Senate Democrats are really going to die on the sword. I'm not sure that they will, but your reaction? Yeah, well, Chuck Schumer is the overlord of obstruction. He took another hostage yesterday on the battle of keeping the government open. The latest hostage are the ACA subsidies. Look, this is a $40 billion a year tax that Americans are paying for to subsidize people making maybe 400% of the poverty level as well. So we have to, this is one more, he's fighting for his political life. He knows he's going to have to face a tough re-election. He's going to get primaried, all those types of things. But his goal is to shut the government down, and Republicans are going to do everything to work towards a balanced budget, but keep the government open. Up until this week, we had heard from the White House, and they've been pushing for a one-year deal, a one-year CR, if you will. Now we're hearing the White House is saying, okay, January 31st, that's the new target date. But that means negotiations are going to start right back up again in November and December. Those are the holidays. Do you think that this time frame is being done for a reason, to put pressure on you and your colleagues, or so that you just kind of pass it through? Like, what meaningful change can this legislation have if it's going to be the political pressure to get it done before the holidays?
As a conservative, I want to spend the least money possible. In my opinion, a CR probably would be one way to do it. But this gives Chuck Schumer one more chance to hold things up, to gum things up. Every time we get to one of these deadlines, he'll take another hostage as well. which ends up costing us money. And remember, people don't get this, but it takes 60 votes in the Senate to pass this spending bill. We have 53 Republicans. Some of them are going to have to come across the aisle and vote with us if we're going to keep the government open.
Well, you also have those like Senator Rand Paul, for instance, who have been very vocal about spending. I mean, we're still sitting on $37 trillion in debt. That is something that the investment community, the Wall Street community, has been very concerned about. So how do you placate those that say that we've got to get the debt under control? Because with the Affordable Care Act, now the law, the true fact is that there really wasn't the spending cuts that many hawks wanted to see in that bill.
You're absolutely right. And this is one reason that interest rates are still high, is we're still spending like drunken sailors. Look, we're going to spend $2 trillion more than we take in this year, $2 trillion. And this is why for the past 2 years, I've been working on a budget policy that would close the loopholes. Congress has not done a meaningful budget in decades. So what our legislation does would close all these legislative loopholes that they use to avoid that. How can you balance the federal government's budget until you actually have a budget? That's step number one for Congress.
Yeah. Also, too, there's a lot happening as we move towards the midterms next year. And all of this budget fight, of course, is as we're pushing into the midterms now. We do want to say that President Trump has endorsed you for re-election. So congratulations on this. We'll put up his Truth Social post. And here's what he wrote. A distinguished medical doctor and U.S. Army veteran, Roger knows how to defend our country, support our brave military, veterans, and ensure peace through strength. That must be very meaningful to you, Senator, to have the President of the United States put such faith in you.
Very, very, very humbling. It's just been incredible to work with him. Trump 45, Trump 47. So many victories won. We're so proud that we've secured the border. We're rolling back regulations. Taxes are coming down. Working on government spending. Price of gas and groceries back home is coming down. So proud to have worked with President Trump and achieve his agenda, to achieve his goals working together.
What's the main thing that you hear from your constituents when you go home?
Yeah, I think it's jobs. It's the economy. I think we kind of have a mixed economy. Cattle is doing great back home, but maybe my wheat and corn not as well. Oil prices are down a little bit as well. So it's kind of this mixed economy, a little bit of uncertainty out there as well. But lots of manufacturing jobs coming back to Kansas is what we're seeing. But we can't find enough people for the jobs that we have. That's what's
does that mean that the immigration discussion is something that you're focused on then? Farm workers? We've heard the president say that these farms do need to have immigrant labor. It just needs to be done the right way.
Right. So no amnesty. We're going to follow President Trump's lead. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. Number one, we've secured the border. Thanks to President Trump, we've secured the border. So now we can have this conversation. It's a very broken immigration system, but as long as there's no amnesty, I'm very willing to work on it and to address this problem that we do have, a lack of people for the jobs that we have.
Yeah, well, Senator Roger Marshall, there is so much at stake, so much work to be done. We do appreciate you being with us here in New York City, though, for the day. Thank you, sir. Senator Roger Marshall.